When it comes to mergers and acquisitions in the middle market of the aerospace and defense business, one of the first people you turn to is Alderman Company. So Bill, let's talk about the mergers and acquisitions picture and maybe the general industry picture, especially regarding the US-Iran conflict. How do you see it, Bill?
So it's very complicated, Mark. It's a hard call. The way we see it at the moment is that things are starting to show. It's hard, I think impossible for anyone outside of maybe the administration to try and even predict. And maybe the administration doesn't really know where we're going, but leave that aside. It's very hard to predict what's next. The news seems every 4 or 5 hours we're heading in a different direction. But if oil prices stay high, it has significant repercussions for the industry of aerospace defense. And if it's long enough and deep enough, it has to have some impact on commercial traffic. It's a sensitive, elastic marketplace, and the airlines are going to face some reduction in demand if oil stays high. And this morning there was more news in that regard.
What does that mean to the industry in terms of potential opportunities for selling, buying businesses, their health, etc.?
So we'll talk about the MRO market first, and we'll talk about two pieces of that market, because aerospace and defense is a big market. So the first piece is MRO commercial, and that market will probably face some headwinds if airlines cut enough capacity, and if oil prices stay high long enough. It can't not have some impact on the MRO market. This market serves to help the airlines keep older, especially older aircraft, in flight. Newer aircraft obviously need less maintenance. And so if there are less older aircraft flying, there's less need for maintenance. We're not seeing that yet. We are seeing the airlines start to slightly cut back routes. Lufthansa announced, Delta announced, JetBlue announced, Air Canada announced small reductions in summer flying. Shouldn't be meaningful. If those become longer and deeper, it has to affect this marketplace. Now, there's another side of this, and that's military sustainment. And you all have a show, part of the show here is about military MRO sustainment. This war and the need for more defense spending and a larger industrial base across the globe, especially in the US, is increasing demand in that market. So those MRO companies that have both exposure, commercial and military, and most of them do, might actually see a net increase depending on what happens here. And those in just military might see a meaningful increase in the immediate term in terms of their revenues, profits, and that can lead to more M&A activity because capital flows where there are profits, and owners that are seeking a retirement or working towards selling are more motivated to sell into that kind of market.
I mean, what have you seen prior, if you like, to this impact in the M&A activity in the market, and what have you seen, and what are you expecting going forward? Albeit, we're not quite sure yet, but what is the answer there, Bill?
So let's assume that the war in the Middle East doesn't go on forever and ends relatively soon, and oil prices don't remain above 100 very long. In that kind of world, we expect a year ahead for MRO very similar to the year behind us. A good year, an active year, a year of growing revenue, a year of growing profits, and a year of a lot of M&A activity where companies are strategically seeking to use M&A as a tool to deliver better products and services to their customers. So if oil doesn't stay above 100 long, I think it's sort of the same as. If oil goes much above 100, or this is sustained, I think there could be some headwinds.
And just amplify a little bit on the defense spending side, because that is not going to stop. In fact, it's going to increase. What does that do to the MRO M&A side of things?
Yeah, great question. So we believe that the midterm election probably has very little impact here in the US on US defense spending. The budget will be between 1.2 and 1.5 trillion going forward. It's never been there before. That's a very large growth in our budget. And looking downrange, even if you have a change in administration in 2 years, it appears that the talk on the Hill is that this budget will stay well above $1 trillion regardless of politics. That's where the world is right now. What does that mean for sustainment? Well, a large portion of that budget is not just for new weapons, it's to sustain existing weapons and systems. So there'll be a lot of money spent on defense tech, new technologies, less expensive weapons, drones, but there'll also be a lot of money spent on aircraft carriers and aircraft. And so those in sustainment for the military should see a robust set of demand in the years ahead.
And just in terms of, going around here on the floor at MRO Americas, when you're talking to, the customers that you have or the businesses that you have relationships with, what are you hearing? What's the sentiment?
The sentiment is very rational. I worry when I hear a lot of irrational talk on a floor like this. Now that we have the war in the Middle East and oil prices where they are, it's very rational conversation. People are paying attention. They are looking at cuts in demand in routes, but being very thoughtful. And so I think we're going to have a great year ahead. Could it be a flat year of no growth for MRO in the year ahead? Sure. Could it be a year of modest M&A activity from here to the end of the year? Sure. I also think it could be another great year. A lot depends on oil. A lot depends on the Strait of Hormuz. And I have no way of knowing what's going to happen, Mark. But I think the industry is in a really good place. And I think that the conversations on the floor are extremely thoughtful.